Hello and good evening. Well, good morning. It's time for parts 55 and 56. And before I begin, I'm going to have a very careful read of the magazines, just to make sure I don't miss any pages. So let me go and do that, and we'll start 55. Alright, 55. We are doing the motor for the left leg, which I have to say is not one of the most exciting things that I find to do the last time round, but has to be done. We'll get a ton more screws there to and we'll be screwing in the great big lumpy thing into the bracket there that we did last time. So let's see what needs doing. Alright, the very first thing that you are doing is taking the lumpy bit and sticking it into this hole there, which is very straightforward because it's actually oblong shaped, so it can only fit in one way, which is into that hole, and then you are lining it up so that you can screw down these holes through here. So you have to line it up so that it faces that way, so it's not square like that, it's off to the side diagonally. Let me go and screw that in, and luckily they provide you with the silver screws that you need, 1 centimeter. So let me screw this into place and then we'll see what's next. Okay, they're all in there very nicely indeed, as you can see all around there. And believe it or not, and I know several people building this won't believe this, I'm still using the original free screwdriver that DeAgostini gave us. It's the original one. Anyway, the next part is you are connecting a cable that apparently we got way back in part 46. So we are plugging it into there. So let me make sure I've got that the right way round, and let's plug that in. Oh, so fiddly, but there it is, all nicely plugged in. And then we have to feed the red and yellow cable underneath the gap in the leg. So let me try and do that now. Not looking forward to this bit. It involves potentially trapping cables, but, well, let's see how we go. There we are. I've done it as per their picture there. I think we know how much fun we're going to have a little bit later, don't we, with fixing all these wires down. Anyway, that is the end of that stage, and there's more over the page. Oh, one thing I did forget is the other cable that we got apparently in stage 45, both 3-pin connectors. You take that and you feed it through there the same way as you did in step 6. Let me thread that through and I'll get back to you. Oh no, first of all I should say that it's the larger plug that you need to feed through first. So you're heading that way, down the leg, up the leg with the larger cable. Sorry, the larger plug. And then it's my nightmare part. It's come too soon for me because we have to take the cable ties that we had some time ago and we've got to be tying all this up. You can see exactly where you need to tie them. It's through these little hooks there. So feed a cable tie through each of these holes and tie your wires together, but make sure that you leave, it says here 135 millimeters. Who works in millimeters? 13.5 centimeters sticking out the end, because you're going to need to plug that into somewhere else on the foot, somewhere there when it exists. So let me go and cable tie these all down and do that very carefully. It's all clipped down, but do you know what? I have left it loose enough so that I can pull this in and out, or out a bit further if I need to, because I am not going through the trauma that I went through last time when I actually had to stop building for nearly a week because I did them up all too tight, so I couldn't pull this plug out. I eventually got it to come out, but I couldn't actually undo the casing again because I'd threaded one of the screws when I put the outer casing down. I am definitely not going to put myself through that trauma again. Now the next part is we're fitting the leg casings on, which is actually quite exciting because it feels like the leg is nearing completion now. We need to find the outer casing. We go and find those and then we'll see how it comes together. Okay, I'm happy to say I made a mistake. I'm just going to remove the last clip I made completely because you are laying that there and then you are screwing this into there rather than this over the top. And that's good because these bits on the sides will just fall out if you try and do it like that. So I'm happy with that. So what you're doing is you're feeding the rest of the wires through that hole, the biggest hole, which is the shoulder of course, and then you are screwing it into place. Things slip about and they click and they pop and they make all sorts of nice sounds, but eventually it will all clip into place. As you can see, that is the first part. Then you need to find this part, which I'm sure you remember, and it plonks right over the top. So over that bit. Sure, I'm going to feel this making nice popping, clicking sounds, or maybe not. Okay, they've already made all the clicking sounds and stuff they're going to make. This next bit is quite important because it will help hold the whole piece together. You slide this plastic bit over these two pieces at the end, and that makes sure it holds them in place while you're screwing. You are sliding that all the way to the top, ready to be screwing this together. Finally, we can see the other leg starting to look as chunky as the first one. There's another click, that's nice. So there you go. Obviously I haven't screwed it into place yet, so that's why it's still looking a bit loose and weird. So let me go and screw all of these in that I need to so far, because there is still another piece yet to put on this leg in this part. So let me go and screw this in. Hello again. Sorry if you notice a slight continuity error. That's because I had to eat my dinner on this table in amongst R2D2 parts. Also had to charge the battery. Now, where we're up to is I have now nailed this down, all nice and secure. So now it's feeling like the other leg, which is very satisfying. Where I'm up to is this piece. Remember that piece? This is to go, not this side, but on this side. And you've got your 2 pins there. I think the other pins are for where when we get the other parts around the ankle. That is going over that side. Oh, there's no clicking sound. How disappointing. You need to screw these holes there with the black screws again. Let me screw that down. Now when I said screw that down, of course I didn't mean in there. Oh no, that would be too straightforward. No, I meant in that hole right there. So I'm going to guess, it says 6mm. I'm going to guess that's a black one. I'm going to see if I can get a black one into that hole there. So let's see how I go. Well, in the sense that I have managed to get a black screw in there and it's holding it in place, I'm going to say that it is the black screw. So let me see what's next. Okay, next is you'll need this bit, which is your other ankle piece, and into the side here, it needs to be this way up according to the picture. You need to put these little pieces here. Do you remember these little silver flashy bits? They need to go to be pushed, it says, into the side. And I'm finding that quite strange because you can see they're clearly round, those pins here, and yet they're little hexagon shapes inside there. I don't know if you can see that. So that's really weird. Let's go for this. I'm going to push these in and hope they stay in. And the other one, the other side. Have I done this the right way round? I'm sure somebody will tell me if I haven't. Okay. Now that made a nice clicking sound. And there you go. All ready to go onto the ankle. Now, I think this is where it gets scary, because this is where I have to trap one of the wires underneath. So let me read these instructions very carefully and I'll get back to you. Oh, the beauty of forward planning. It is a little bit tight in there, but I managed to pull the wires out further, and I'll be able to do the same with this one if I need to. This one goes out the side, these ones go between the main arch of the ankle piece. This is ready now to be screwed down. I'm going to try the black ones again, because despite it clearly saying silver screws, again, they're all black ones along there and they look like the same holes. I do need to screw these 4 down now, so let me do that. Well, despite it clearly saying silver screws, again, these black ones, they went in, they screwed up, and it looks like it's holding together really well for me. And this brings us to the end of 55. So let me go and have a look at part 56. Alright, part 56 involves more headwork and more footwork. Let's see which is first. I'm happy to say it's the dome first. I like working on this. Now remember that section I called the exclamation mark? Well, it's that bit there that we will be filling right now. So we'll be filling that, and also we'll be filling the very next piece that's right next to it. Let me go and stick that in. There you go. I just thought I'd show you, if you're a completionist like me, there's the 3 bits of tape there ready for the first one. So I've got to peel each of those off and then stick the exclamation mark filler in there. Okay, first one is in. Took a bit of fiddling with the tape. World of Wayne, one of the other R2D2 builders I watched, he made it look so easy. He just went straight in there and peeled them all off. I thought, how do you do that? And I also love how in the video, when they're peeling those off, he gets in there. I don't know if anyone's seen the video, the official video of Model Space, I think it is. He gets in there with his little lady tweezers and he carefully peels them off. But look at what he's doing in the picture. Get it right in there. Yank it off. That's that piece in place. It's looking good there. And next, got to do the silver bit. And the silver bit looks to me like some kind of blanking plate, which is a bit odd, but I'm guessing that's film accurate. So let's go and put that bit on. Alright, that is done. And it was a lot easier to take the tape off of that one. That's all we're doing for the dome, sadly. Okay, we will need a grand total of 2 pieces for this stage. One piece is a rather big piece. One half of R2D2's foot, and the other part is that little piece that you plug the pipes into. We're going back to using the black screws, even though we never stopped using the black screws, because they were what I used with the leg, even when it said silver. You need to turn it over this way, because you will be doing the outside of the foot. So we'll be screwing this on, and I'm just guessing here, but 1, 2, 3, 4 holes. See the 4 pegs in there? Well, 6. Not those lower down ones. These raised ones will be poking through, and magically those are the ones that we're going to need to screw in. There we go. Sits on there beautifully. The first thing we need to do is screw this into place, so let me go and do that. Remind me not to get ahead of myself. It is nothing to do with these 4. It is only these 2 in the middle. So it was the lower down ones that we needed to pay attention to. So let me go and screw this into place. This one looks a bit off. Hopefully it's going to work. Keep your fingers crossed. Let's do this. Okay. Well, that was not the easiest job in the world. And I'm sure it should have been easier than that. But that one's okay. But this one is not really flush with the metal. Bit unsatisfying. This one I've well and truly shredded, so the chances of me getting that back out again are between 0 and never again. The final bit of part 56 is slotting this in, which is, of course, it's not just a sticky out bit, it's the power bus cable mounting plate. You need to put this into that bit there, and it actually slides in all nicely. So let me show you. Look at that. Amazing. And that's it. This takes us to the end of part 56, and I have some bad news and some good news. The bad news is that I'm very late in bringing these videos to you, so I apologise for that, even though it's not my fault. But the good news is that because I've left it so late, I've already received my next delivery letter, which means that there will only be a very short delay now between this one and the next two parts. Isn't that exciting? Well, it's exciting for me anyway. So that being said, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please click on like if you like. Equally, feel free to click on thumbs down, but please tell me exactly why you're clicking on thumbs down. This is important to me. Clicking thumbs down and running is not particularly clever and doesn't take much talent, but constructive criticism is always welcome. I'll try and improve how I can. And other than that, thank you very much for watching. Have a peaceful day or night, and I will see you next time. Meet you back here for parts 57 and 58.